Well, greetings. This is the Bucky, aka the Dog Tour, and my host and my co-host, the Furry King. Say hello, Furry King.
Hello.
Don't worry, I just accidentally tossed a pumpkin and it hit somewhere where the sun don't shine. But other than that, the the well, that's what you get when a monkey tosses a pumpkin to a fairy. It rings some tinker bells. But there's just something about this month. I do not see it happening at all. Just it's like ever since this month started, it's like it just started small and it got it just the feeling grew to where I just started to really, you know, enjoy watching Halloween related content. And there's a show that came out that just, oh my god, I mean, as you all know, I was really into the movie Casper. I still am. It's a film that I just love so much, and especially when it gets closer to spooky time, I love to watch it. Well, a show came out this month that I love so much. It's amazing, it's powerful, it's moving, it's spectacular. It's a show that is just amazing. I mean, it's like when I saw the cover, I thought it was going to be something like, something different. Like, but it was at first, the first few seconds, you think, oh no, not another Good Charlie or something like that, or Boy Meets World. No, it's actually pretty good. It's like Casper meets Ant Farm, but only it's the whole world is the same. So what happens is it's about popular, this normal popular teenage girl that goes to this high school, normal high school. And um, but then she ends up she's tweeting on her phone, and she falls into a manhole. It's a hole in the street that leads into the sewer, and then she ends up in the underworld. But it's a wonderful show because they send her back, and the whole world is the same, but she is different. It's really really good, and it's just a wonderful show to watch in October. I mean, I mean, as soon as possible for anybody that loves Halloween, for anybody that loves the I mean, heck, the show free features the Grim Reaper in almost every episode. So it is a wonderfully spooky, haunted, really good show. It's just really, 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 really good. I mean, I would watch it after either before, like I would watch it during the day and then watch Casper at night. So for anybody that do you want to know the interesting thing, Fairy King, about this film?
Yes. What is it?
So when she gets brought back, she is not in spirit form. She she even though the world has went on 2 weeks, it has been 2 weeks since she died. She looks exactly the same except a white streak in her hair. But unlike Casper, um, she she gets sent back after crossing over, and so but she's not in ghost form. She's just her regular self of how she was, except the white streak, uh, when she died. Um, so it's interesting because unlike Casper, after you cross over, you're not supposed to return, and even then, you're just a ghost. But no, she got sent back alive in her, you know, as herself, but alive. The only difference, like, she's still able to eat, drink, everything. So, so this is this means this is in a different universe than Casper. This is, who knows, maybe a different universe than all. But I have a sneaky suspicion this may be a way to bring back the Wizards of Waverly Place. I think so, because Fairy King, what happened? Uh what are they holding back that I, when you and me deducted what was supposed to be there and what is right there now?
I don't follow.
Well, what the Fairy King seems to forget is we figured out when the we figured out together that the uh just like Sherlock Holmes and Watson, we figured out together that there is an episode that they are holding back. They only have 7 episodes right now to watch, but there is an 8th episode that was filmed, and so there's something they're holding back. So I think the 8th episode is going to have something in it connecting either the Wizards of Waverly Place or something else. Maybe it's going to introduce the characters, the live action characters of Gravity Falls. Who knows? I they've uh, they've specifically only mentioned the high school. They haven't really mentioned the state or the town. They've only said that the principal's daughter is used to big cities, and then they moved there. They didn't specify what really town they're in. So I find it interesting because that means, who knows, it could take place at Gravity Falls or some other. But I'm just saying, it's a great show. I love it so much, and I'm really interested when that 8th episode debuts, what is going to be in it, as far as what's it going to tie in together, and what's it going to put in it to leave us hanging, and maybe even put into, to make us think, oh my god, it's in this state, or it's in this universe, or it could, like I said, introduce, like, they could bring back that one vampire girl from Wizards of Waverly Place, or they could bring in other characters. Even think about it. It's a show that has to do with the Grim Reaper and ghosts. So it's there's heck, even Disney has this show called this movie series called, the one about the zombies. So and in the Voices of a Waverly Place, they had all sorts of creatures. They could even introduce a werewolf, Alex's boyfriend. So who knows? Maybe they could have him be like an exchange to it, and be like, and he could be like, she could be like, oh, you're here by yourself, and he could be, no, my girlfriend's gonna stop by, and they could be Alex, and then they could end with a close up, being like, hello, or something like that. It just So it's on the eve of the spooky season, and the very first spooky show they release that is new, they hold back one episode on the eve of the spooky of the on the eve of the spooky season. Doesn't that seem a little bit too
Mysterious.
uh, yeah, and perfect timing? Because if they wait till October to publish the last episode and have like the Wizards of Waverly Place or something like that in it, it would really, I mean, they could be, they could show that before they, and then they could do that, and then, you know, the people could then tune into the Disney Channel and watch Halloween Town, or stuff like that. I'm just saying there's so many possibilities of characters they could bring in for the last episode, or, I mean, it's already been filmed, so I'm just curious as to what it's going to do, who they're going to bring in, what connections in the last episode it could have to other shows. I mean, Gravity Falls was such a big, popular fan base show that if they introduced the live action version of those characters, it could be the perfect teaser trailer in a way to get people in. Like, it could be the perfect teaser for people to know, oh my god, they're going to shoot a live action Gravity Falls. I mean, they could really do that. This show really seems perfect for something in the last episode to be something to kind of tease the fans, or whet their palates for. Whoa, what happened there?
Welcome back.
That was totally spooky. Um, it could be perfect, uh, a perfect, I don't know. Uh, so out of all the, I mean, I mean, heck, what if they brought back the Cromwell witch from the Halloween Town? Have her be like, it would really fit in the chronological thing that by now I'm just saying Disney has produced so many Halloween films and shows, and well, basically Halloween films, that they could introduce anybody from one of them and have it be a kind of a something to make people wonder and let them know that they're going to be coming out with something new. They'll bring back old characters. Like they could bring back the witches from the Twitches 1 and 2, or they could bring back Calabar's son. They could bring back the Cromwell witches. They could bring back, like I said, they could show us the live action versions of the characters of Gravity Falls. There's so many. I mean, and then there's the possibility that since Disney has the other catalog of other content that they really haven't done anything with, they could introduce like a character from one of those movies. That catalog has a abundance of Halloween related characters. So I'm just saying there's so much they could do with this show that they have not released the last episode of. You're obviously saving it for something special. There's something in it that's going to leave people shocked and in awe. Why else would they hold the last episode? Either that or it's just, like I said, so many possibilities as to what could be in it, and so many possibilities of who will be in it. Because it's the last episode of the season. And so they could definitely put somebody in it that would leave people ecstatic. Um, so who would you want in it? In the from the well, wait. We may be overlooking something. They could, if they own the rights to the movie Casper, they could introduce Casper again. But I don't know. I'm just but oh wait, what happened? Hold on. There you are. You disappeared.
It kicked me out as well, but I'm back.
Oh, okay. The Fairy King's back again.
I'm back
Um,
from Fury Cove.
um, um, and speaking of Fairy Cove, how about you tell the good folks about the Fairy Cove and what they can find there.
Well, currently we do not have much, but we do have quite a bit to choose from for your fairy practice, witchcraft practice, rituals, anything within your practice.
For all of you wondering, Fairy King doesn't like to brag, but he's actually been doing very well, and people are proud of him because of his success, and that is why his stock of the items is low. Everybody is interested in Halloween. Everybody is having a good time and having wonderful customer service. So while supplies last, go to his fairy cove. You will have a great time with a selection of items to fit everything spooky and fairy related that you would that would fit your magical and stylish needs. Isn't that true, Fairy King?
Very true.
So, so Fairy King, isn't it interesting that they would introduce this concept that if a that if a ghost that when ghosts cross over, if they come back there in spirit form, but if the Grim Reaper brings them back, they are they're back in their human form, their human selves. Isn't that interesting?
Yes, it is, and it is very possible as well.
And Fairy King, do you have a book that is in your Fairy Cove that if others are interested, they could purchase that would explain something like that of how it is, and Pot could possibly even explain what's going on in the show even more.
I do not currently have books on the subject, but that is something I can look into.
He has to look in his back catalog. He has tons of stuff. It's just you can't always have access to everything. That's why there is backlog. That's why there's stuff that takes you time to find. But don't worry, I'm sure season 2 will have a different explanation. But Um, but uh, so uh, um, um, well, what do you expect, people, when everybody's been all excited about Beetlejuice and spirits crossing over? He sold out of all of that because of Jenna Ortega being in the new Beetlejuice. He doesn't like to brag, but Fairy Cove has been very populated recently. But um, so Fairy King, what do you think about, since they introduced that means that the Grim Reaper was not nearby when Casper was created, or maybe he was, and maybe that's why Casper said that he didn't go where he was supposed to go. So that means that either the Grim Reaper or other spirits, yes, they showed it in the second film, but it did not follow the first film. So, so the and also in the second Casper film, it doesn't. It's supposed to be earlier. It's supposed to. I thought it was supposed to be a prequel, but still, it doesn't make sense because Casper died in like in the, what was it, the 1920s or something. Well, he died many, many years ago, and it showed him right after he was a spirit in the second one where his friend is a boy. Uh, but that's like still in the 90s, but he became a ghost in like the decades earlier. So the sequel, which is not Casper and Wendy, that's different. The sequel does doesn't really connect at all to the original, but still back to what we were talking about, the fact that in this show they introduced the concept that you can that if the Grim Reaper brings you back, you don't come back as a ghost, but your physical self, which they had to use the machine to get to basically do what the Grim Reaper does in the show. So that means that in Casper, the Lazarus is basically a mechanical version of the Grim Reaper that can bring one's back. But but not technically the same way in the show. The show is different than that concept, but I feel Uh, it's interesting how this new concept kind of makes you think on the original Casper film, because I've seen no ghost kicking things or nothing. It's really, it just, it's really, it just, this show just introduces some new concepts that really are intriguing. I really, or at the very least, they could be introducing the Candyman as the Grim Reaper, because the original Grim Reaper, because they show that like the current Grim Reaper got that position, that she wasn't the original Grim Reaper. So yeah. So it's just a really good show, and I highly recommend it. And for those from across the pond, yes, the Grim Reaper is played by a British lady. Yes, either British or English, whatever you call it. I can't tell. either English or British, one or the other. But she definitely is one or the other. I can't tell. It's ain't don't you agree, Fairy King? People from the United Kingdom sound a lot different. Sound the same of the ones from Britain because isn't Britain in the same area as the United Kingdom?
Great Britain is part of England, not the UK.
Then then yeah, that's probably why they sound so similar. But yeah, the actress is from there or sounds like it. So yeah. So all of you that are in Pride Month, or all of you that are for women's rights, yes. Though the Grim Reaper is played by a woman in this show, and I think it's a great thing. They really chose somebody really qualified for it and really good. I never once have been doled when she's been on screen. It's really she's perfect for the role. But yeah, it's a really great show, and it's just it even has someone that has sort of the same. It's just wonderful. It even has a e, emo chick in it, and it has a another one that you would swear if you just listen to her, if you don't look at her, but you listen to her, she sounds just like Bella from Twilight, or similar. But but I don't know. Maybe it's I guess film is perspective, or I don't know. But it's just a really great show, and I definitely feel that I could watch it in between now and October, and I could watch it either after Casper or before Casper. Really, really good. Really, really, really good. Great show. And so, Fairy King, do you think that they will? What's your idea of when do you think they will release the last episode? Is there any significance in this month or ones coming up that could be that have a common denominator of ghosts and the Grim Reaper uh, as it gets from this month till October? Is there any specific dates that have any special significance to ghosts that maybe, or the Grim Reaper, that they're waiting to release it on that date?
I am not too sure about that.
Well, it's okay. That's Grim Reaper and ghost stuff. He's into fairies. So that's why he doesn't know. But but
Totally true.
for what?
I do like Halloween and the Grim Reaper. I just do not currently have information on that.
I never said you didn't like it. Well, um, to all of you interested in and where you can get the items that that he's spoken about. How about you tell them where they can find your fairy code?
You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and my website. If you wish to find a link that will take you to the shop, you can find them in my Instagram bio. My my link tree is listed there. And if for those of you who only have Facebook, I am on Facebook.
Well, um, um, this has been another live stream of the Monkey and the Fairy King. Um, well, uh, and like a banana, we have to split.